I mean, we have a draft on today's show, but we have to figure out. Apparently, you don't trust me to flip a coin. So,
absolutely not.
Do we want to just ask Siri to pick a number between 1 and 2, and that'll be who wins the draft?
You trust Siri to do that, okay, Mister? Yeah, my private information doesn't matter. Go ahead, just
right, who's
share
one,
it with the government.
2? You're on my left, so you're 1. Okay, I'm 2. Sure. Ready?
Okay.
Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 2. Oh, look, it says it right there. 2. 2.
I can't see it. This is amazing. He's like, it says it right there. Can't you see it?
Hey, I win.
Oh, you guys can't see it?
I see it.
Welcome to Oddball. I'm Amin Elhassan. That's Izzy Gutierrez. And we're going to do something a little special today. While the rest of the world, Izzy, is going crazy about March Madness, what ends up happening for us really serious NBA heads is we just watch March Madness to know who's going to be in the draft, right? That's all we care about, who's coming up next. But even in saying that, we're doing a huge disservice to our senior citizens. That's right. Any player who's over the age of 36, apparently, not 35, as the script originally said. So what we're going to do is we're going to draft the best players in the league over the age of 35, but they can't be 35, so technically over the age of 36.
So while all the kids are playing March Madness, us old folks are just going to pick the oldest players in the league and just put them on a list 1 through 10.
Pretty much. Okay. Pretty well. Now put them on the list. It's a draft. You and me, right. We're going head to head. That's why we had that coin toss in the cold open, or excuse me, the coin toss, because Izzy claims that Siri said 2, even though we did not hear Siri's voice. And when asked to provide the evidence, he conveniently held his screen off camera. So we have our list of eligible players on our screens. You guys can't see it. And we're going to draft off of these. These are all the players, Izzy, 36 and older.
I mean, you're really nitpicking here. We went 35 or over 35, and you said apparently if you're 35 for any period of time, you are over 35. So that includes the players who are 35. So now we have to call it the over 36 or 36 and over draft, which is just really stupid.
You know, it's stupid because you guys you wanted to discriminate against 35-year-olds. I agree. But let's go ahead and get started. Izzy, you have the first pick, and we're going to do a serpentine draft. So that means I get the last pick of the first round and the first pick of the second round.
You know, the snake draft really messes with my strategy here, but I still have to go with my number 1 pick, Steph Curry. I know this is a little bit shocking, but in terms of the people who are the system, right? If you are on this list, like LeBron James can run any system, Steph Curry is the system still. And I know there's another player on the board that is also still the system, but I'm going with Steph.
Technically, I should get the next 2 picks, right?
I believe that's the way serpentine goes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, then this is the easiest. I'm glad I didn't get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I'm glad I get. Should I draw it out? What do you guys think? Should I draw it out?
Here you were questioning the integrity of Siri, and now you are actually winning on this one.
Yeah. No, I realize it now. Okay. Let's see. Where do I go with this one? I'm gonna go with LeBron James. I'm assuming that's the other system that you're talking about.
Expand on that choice, please.
Well,
no, I think he's a system. He can run any system. He is not the system.
Oh, he's not the system. Okay. Well, I mean, I think LeBron is always the system. I think this year is the first time with Luka in the lineup we've seen LeBron seed control, and it looks marvelous. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's an excellent passer, one of the best passers in the league. He's can still get you a bucket at any point. Defensively, he can turn it on in spurts. And when he turns it on, he does have great versatility. He's a good rebounder. He's the best all-around player, I think, on this list of any of the players. So I
won't argue with you on that. It's just his ability to turn that on is not as regular as it used to be. And we should emphasize this is not prime players. This is players currently today they're playing.
Right now. And I would say Izzy, yes, but also his need to do so is directly proportionate to how good his teammates are. And in this situation, he's got a hell of a second teammate. Give me Kevin Durant for number 2. Yeah. KD.
This one was tough.
He's incredible. I actually agonized Izzy over who would have been my number 1. Would have been Curry or Durant. Durant is excellent, right? Excellent. But it's hard to separate him from his team's performance. And I think Curry overall is just such a unique player in terms of system that it's just so different. Like Durant, for all he's amazing, he's one of the best players ever. He's still amazing right now. But Durant still provides you a very traditional defensive game plan, meaning, all right, he's got the ball. Let's keep eyes on him. 2 on the ball, whatever. Like you play it straight up. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's more simple than Curry, which is, all right, where the did he go? Like that's Curry. And that I think changes dynamics significantly.
I used to say something to the effect of, well, Curry has to come with Steve Kerr. They have to play that whole system in order for him to be as effective. Not the case anymore. You watched him in the Olympics. Like, yes, it was still with Steve Kerr, but you could run some simple action that Steph Curry knows exactly what he's doing. It's just a couple screens from some other guys and boom, he's got the defense in shambles. And so I think that is a lot more common in a Steph Curry offense right now than a Kevin Durant one. But I do have to give Kevin Durant some credit, though. He's changed coaches so often that he just has to do whatever he can do, right? He's not like he's got this Steve Kerr system going for him. And I'm stalling here. If it sounds like I'm stalling here, it's because I am. This is where the big drop-off comes in.
Well, I want to ask a question before we move on. Because the Warriors are in 6th now. The Clippers are right behind them. So are the Wolves. Now, there's a scenario where the Warriors, I think they're like 2.5 back of the 5 seed, but they are also like a game, I believe, up on the 6th seed, on the 7th seed. So who do you think wins 6, and do you think the Warriors can move up past 6?
No, I think the Warriors take 6. Like, I think, even we've got like a questionable Steph Curry because of I think a muscle injury. And, there's going to be some games that Draymond misses down the stretch. His beard's looking like yours now. Obviously Jimmy Butler might not play in every single game. So I think they probably just settle into the 6. And did you say who their best opponent would be?
No, I said, or do you think they have a chance of moving up to 5?
No, I mean, not necessarily. I think Houston's been sort of rolling a little bit, even with my boy Amin Thompson now. So I think they comfortably fit into the 6th slot and avoid that OKC team in the 2nd round. Have I stalled enough? Have you stalled enough for me?
Yeah.
Because my next pick is a tough one. It's like a whole collection of players that are kind of right around the same level. And I don't know if I'm necessarily picking based on who works best with Steph, but I'm going to go Brook Lopez.
Wow.
It was Brook. Like I had either Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, or Al Horford in that mix. And I got to go with Lopez because he gives them some defensive presence and can still shoot the 3. Like, and can, you see, we're playing with Steph, Andrew Bogut, Jaja Pachulia. You know a type, right? A big screen setter that can play some defense and grab some rebounds. So I got to go with Brook because he still has something left in those, however old he is.
Okay, and then your next pick after that?
My next pick, and that eliminates Al Horford, right? Because I don't need another stretch big. And so this one comes down to me between CP3 and Russell Westbrook. Who still got it more today? And I would say pairing him with Steph Curry, I got to go Russell Westbrook right now. He could be, like, you give him the minutes, he's going to potentially get you a triple-double these days. So got to go Russ there.
Oh man, this is working out. I could not have made it work out any better.
I will say this, by the way, in my head, I had an entirely different team. The snake draft just throwing me off completely, but I'm still excited about what I've got.
All right. Well, you took Russell Westbrook over Chris Paul. Give me Chris Paul. And I understand why. You have Steph Curry. We saw what Steph Curry and Chris Paul looks like last year. Not so great. But with my guys, a lot better. The banana boat is almost coming alive right there with LeBron and Chris Paul, KD, your honorary member. And look, again, I think, first of all, the idea that the Spurs haven't been phoning it in since Wembanyama got hurt. They won their first game after De'Aaron Fox was ruled out for the year. And that's, you got to give a lot of credit to Chris Paul. I think he keeps people in line. He keeps the team organized. He's a great point guard. He has his flaws, but I hope when you're playing with LeBron James and Kevin Durant, it overshadows that. Now, for my next pick is the other guy you named.
Wait. Before you get to this next pick, I got to ask you a Chris Paul question because I kind of feel like he might pull the retire card after this season. Does it feel like it might be the end for Chris Paul? Like I'm saying this without looking at his contract situation.
Do you want my opinion on what's going to happen with Chris Paul?
Please.
Your next head coach is San Antonio Spurs.
Really?
That's what I think. I think that that's the angle right now. It's like, okay, let me stick around long enough, see what Pop's going to do. Pop's going to come back next year. But as soon as Pop is like, I'm done, here I come. I slide right in. And then I get to coach Wembanyama and get the glory.
I don't hate that idea, but I also don't believe that Chris Paul has the patience to do that right away, especially with a lot of young kids. So it's like, shouldn't he take some time off? But I guess in that scenario, you're just going to get more cranky the more time off you take, right?
By the way, this is the time off right now.
Okay.
Right now.
That's a good point.
This next month or so.
All right, who's your next pick?
My next pick is the other name you named, and I'm surprised you took Brook Lopez over him. It's Al Horford. As much as we say he's 700 years old, the dude finds a way every single time to just come up with big stops, big plays, big shots. He's every bit as effective on defensive end. His 3-point shooting feels like it's better than ever. And again, I want a big who's good defensively, but also can spread the floor. I think that works for my team. Izzy,
I also wondered if this was like a season-long thing, if we're talking best of 7 series or what, because like Al Horford, yeah, he'll last me the whole season. And with Brook Lopez, I might have some durability issues, but I just went with a bigger size and frankly, more willingness to just shoot that thing like from distant. Like when Brook catches it from 30 feet, I'll let that thing go. Not a whole lot of great options left. And I've got to make 2 of them now. So look, at this point, we've just got to fill out the roster. And I think this guy still has a lot left, even though he's been around forever. I got to go Nick Batum. And I don't know if this is like it. If you watched last season's playoffs, if you watched the Olympics, you can always get yourself a Nicholas Batum game. Like he might still win you a game in a series with 4 or 5 threes. And that he's always been like, to me, like the modern day original alien, like just so long and can like defend it from any spot. And so I got to go Nick Batum. And do I have another pick here?
You have another pick. Yes.
Should I keep like the drama going and like him and Haw over this for a few minutes and then
do
it after the break?
Let's
get some time. I'll make my pick after the break. Welcome back to Oddball. Where we left off was me sort of trying to figure out who my 4th or 5th pick was in this draft of 36 and over players in the NBA because Amin's a stickler for words. My last pick being Nick Batum, who, man, I feel like if you were to tell me he was 32 years old, I'd probably still believe you based on the way he plays. So I'm good on Nick Batum. So far, I love this lineup. I've got pretty much everything I need. I got 2 combo guards. I got a stretch big, and I've got a 3-and-D guy. So I'm going to leave this one open for best available player. And right now, based on how they are playing when they're in games, I think I have to go with Kevin Love here. I think I have to go with Kevin Love, and I feel like I just let Amin go with another one, an obvious pick, because he just grabbed his heart there. But I got to go Kevin Love here. I think he can fill out the starting 5. I think we can probably substitute with him with whoever my 6th man is going to be because he's been pretty good off the bench for the Miami Heat. Still gives you some rebounds, definitely can stretch the floor. Not great defensively, but, probably some vibes there with him and Curry. After being opponents for so many finals.
You are doing the Lord's work right here, Izzy. I need to send you a gift basket, man, because I cannot believe that Mike Conley slipped through the radar.
I know I said I went best available player, but I didn't need a 3rd combo guard or point guard.
It's a guard's world, man. This dude is, first of all, he's still a good defensive player despite his age. Guy has one of the best ambidextrous floater games maybe of all time, man. If you think about guys who in game shoot with their offhand, I don't know if there are 5 players who are better than Mike
Never
Conley.
Once have I thought of, hey, let me get my top 5 ambidextrous floater game guys. But now it's going to have to be on my radar. Mike Conley's the only person currently on my list.
Look, man, and my kid's coming up. Right hand, left hand. We do it every single day. But Mike Conley, man, listen, I got LeBron and I've got Chris Paul. Do I need another point guard? No. But Mike Conley does two things. Number one, Mike Conley's a great shooter. So I can play him off ball and he can still fit. He'll still hit a secondary pick and roll. I think Mike Conley, like I said, the floaters, his in-between game is superb even at this age. And you know what you need? He's a good vibes guy. A good vibes guy. Make sure everyone's happy. Chris Paul, I don't know if he's a good vibes guy. I'll say it.
I mean, you can back off the limb. I think it's safe to say Chris Paul, not a good vibes guy.
All right. So I'm going Mike Conley here. And I'm ecstatic that he was still. Oh, no, yeah. The two Mike Conleys. Yes. That's if I could clone him, if I could Xerox him, I would. But now this is the important part. Because now, Izzy, we both have our starting fives. We're drafting a 6-man. And so now I'm like you. I'm thinking to myself, am I drafting vibes or am I drafting like you're going to play for me? And I'll talk it out. I will. I don't care if I'm going to give you ideas for your last pick.
That's fun.
Right? Because if I'm going with you're going to play for me, I kind of feel like either DeAndre Jordan, because I only have one true big on my roster, or I guess it's got to be DeAndre Jordan if it's play for me. If I'm going vibes come in a lot of different ways. James Johnson is vibes, ladies and gentlemen. Different kind of vibes. Like I need someone to punch someone in the face. Yeah. I'm looking at my roster. I don't know if anyone's going to do it. I know James Johnson's going to do it.
If you're willing to sacrifice somebody coming off the bench for a suspension, yeah, James Johnson is your guy.
James Johnson's perfect for that. If I need buckets with no regard for human life. Eric Gordon and Patty Mills for richer or for poorer till death do us part. If I'm going, man, just all around great dudes to have around, I'm going Jeff Green or Taj Gibson or PJ Tucker. I think I'm gonna go with DeAndre Jordan because just the way my roster is built, and he's also a good vibes guy, by the way. That's the other thing. He's also a good vibes guy. He still has the hops. He's still an above the rim athlete. DeAndre Jordan's my last pick, and I'm hoping that that's the only sub I need to do is Horford for Jordan.
Was it you I was getting into an argument with about DeAndre Jordan having the greatest dunk of all time, the one over Brandon Knight that is on like a bunch of, a bunch of people. I've seen it on people's list as the greatest dunk of all time.
You haven't named what list? You just said people. You did the thing that Dan LeBatard does, which is people. Which people? Which people were we talking about?
Post-internet, there was a list, and it included all these great dunks, and it had DeAndre Jordan's at number one, and I was just like, I can't accept an alley-oop finish as one of the greatest dunks of all time because you have to take it with you and carry it up and dunk it. You can't just go up there and be like, oh, look what's underneath me. Oh, it's Brandon Knight. And then just like, damn it.
Unless you caught the alley-oop and you did some extra with it. So you caught it and then put it between your legs or windmilled it or something like that. Because one of the greatest alley-oops I've ever seen was, what do you call it? Was Gerald Green. Oh, yeah. Gerald Green caught the alley-oop and then full windmill in a game. And I've never seen that. Outside of a dunk contest.
That's another account I follow is just people on the internet who post every day a different Gerald Green dunk. And that's one of my favorites. All right. This is my last. I feel like I've been stalling again, but I feel like I've talked this out the same way you did. And it's very much a 6-man role. So, and that includes vibes, like to me. Yeah. So to me, it's just between Patty Mills and Uncle Jeff Green. And so if we're talking somebody that's going to give me buckets, man, I think Jeff Green can give you the occasional like surprise, I'm going to finish over you. Yeah. But Patty Mills can give you like 15 straight points. And so I'm going to go Patty Mills and make my lineup my old ass team, a team that your old ass team is going to hate defending. You got Steph Curry you got to worry about. You got Patty Mills you got to worry about. And you got Russell Westbrook. What is he going to do? Nobody knows.
I love the idea that you think Patty Mills is someone you got to worry about when I have LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Yes. If I were LeBron James, I would not want to defend Patty Mills.
I'm not talking about defending. I'm talking about you. Who the hell got to guard my guys? You have one star on your list, sir. You have one star defender. No, 1 star, period. Steph Curry and a bunch of role players is what you got. And I got 2 stars, 2 all-stars, and I got Al Horford, who's a playoff all-star. And give me Mike Conley, who's one of the best players to never make an all-star game. Dude, I feel like my team is going to wash your team. Like the only way your team wins is if there's some crazy You know what, guys? The power of friendship compels us thing. And like you guys just have like if this were a movie, my team would be like the bad guys because it's like the big kids from the prep school who are awesome and have won 800 games in a row.
And Kevin Love's Instagram account would be narrating the entire movie.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I will say though, if there's one person on either of these teams, like I would argue my team right now, almost as good as the current Warriors. Because and that team might win a championship because Steph Curry does. Look, Steph does not need, even at this age, at 36, does not need that much help. Like when he is on his like this group right here around him, plenty enough to have that team win. Like he can drop 40 with this type of support. And like he just had his 4,000th three go down, which I find hilarious is all of a sudden people who like act like they get the context of that. Like I've been covering this league since 2000. Like never has the total number of 3-pointers, like that number ever been something that's like talked about, but now it will. Like now we have the context for it. Oh, okay. The greatest ever has set a mark that's seemingly so unattainable and will probably just follow him up to maybe 5,000, doubtful, but 5,000. And that is the reason why that guy is today more capable of taking my team to victory than yours.
Okay, you went through a lot of things. I got to respond to a bunch of things. I'm going to start with the easy one, which is, yes, 4,000 three-pointers is insane. Anyone who does it, who is not shocked by that is lying, right? 4,000 three-pointers made is I'm trying to put it, it would be like someone saying, yeah, that dude scored 70,000 points in his NBA career. Like it's unthinkable like that. Do you think it's going to get broken, Izzy, while we're on this?
I think there will be some, but like one of the things that sort of always shocked me is Duncan Robinson is the NBA's fastest player to like 100 threes, 200 threes, 300 threes, 400. And this is in an era that Steph Curry has lived and played. Yeah. And so there will be people who come in shooting hotter than Steph Curry did at the beginning of his career because he wasn't putting up double figures every game back
he had
then.
A late start.
I think it will be, especially since if you talk about skills in the league, like probably most repeatable or attainable skill is shooting. So I would say
that's the wild part is that Steph Curry technically is a late starter. Mm-hmm. Had he played under the circumstance, I'm not even saying the talent that he has now, but the circumstances, which is, shoot threes. We want you to from the beginning of his career. Where would that number be now? It'd probably be above 5, right? He'd hit 5K already.
Oh, for sure. Like if he was taking double figures the entire time, absolutely. Even though I just Googled it, I accidentally deleted it. But do you know how many Larry Bird threes he's had in his career? Like, and that's considered maybe the third best shooter of all time. How many?
Less than 400, I would say.
Ooh, no, it's actually more than that. 649.
All right, there you go. Like there's a scenario where someone has that in a season. I think the record is 402 with Steph. But again, I know. If he said, hey, man, Steph had 653s in a season, I'd be like, yeah, I could see it. The other part of it, though, is if it ever does get eclipsed, does anyone ever remember that context? Like, you got to throw in the fact that this dude.
I think now these numbers, like, I don't think the overall record, like the number where he broke Ray Allen's record, I don't think that's something that's going to stick in people's minds, but I think the big round numbers will.
All right. So I just want to recap our teams for everybody. I've got LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Al Horford, Mike Conley, and DeAndre Jordan coming off the bench. Izzy has Steph Curry, Brook Lopez, Russell Westbrook, Nick Batum, Kevin Love, Patty Mills. Please let us know in the comments who you think has the better team, who'd win in a 7-game series, who would fare better in the NBA. How about that, Izzy? Well, let's do that. Forget about me versus you. Who would fare better over an 82-game season?
82 games is a lot because you're talking. I mean, we're all old here, right? In terms of our teams, but like the more injury prone, the guys who are more willing, or not willing, more like historically missing a game or two here. I think it might be your team. I think I might have the better team to survive an 82-game season, but I'm not sure about a 7-game series.
It's funny. Average age peaked in the year 2000, and right now it's as low as it's been since the 70s, which is weird because I think we have a plethora of older players who are really, really at the top of the sport, but the rest of it is just made up by so many young kids that the average is pulled all the way down.
There's a guy that I like to talk about when we talk about the older players in the league. He didn't even make our list, but Eric Gordon, man, that guy's been doing it for a while. Like, and he's been doing it pretty well. So got a quick shout out to Eric Gordon.
Shout out to Eric Gordon. Shout out to all the other guys that didn't make it on the draft. Garrett Temple, I see you, man. I got love for you. That's it for Oddball.
He's still
Jordan's
with us.
a go.